my name's Katie Ewers. I am a professional careers advisor and life coach, and this video today is to give you some information on what it takes to be a chartered management accountant. So the umbrella accountancy specialisms are your cost accounting, financial accounting, forensic, and I will do a video on each one of these on request. Some I will do off my own back, but if there is any in these specialism you'd like me to do a video on that I haven't already, please send me a message or put a comment in the description box and I will be happy to do that for you. So to be a chartered management accountant, you of course need to be good with numbers, be able to explain financial information clearly. Those are the two main elements you need to excel as a chartered management accountant: the ability to manipulate number and the ability to then explain that to other people. That's your main abilities that you need to do as a management accountant. So what you'll do is you'll prepare and develop and analyse financial information, and you'll do this for the management teams so that they can make decisions. So you provide the financial information data for the managers to look at and make strategic decisions with. And this ensures the stability of the company and it helps to ensure future growth and profitability. You'll establish and maintain policies and procedures, including management information systems. Your role is very much about looking into the future, prospecting to see what's going to be good and what's going to not be good, because the stability of your company rides on it. You'll analyse the performance of the business, advise on how to prevent issues and problems within the business, manage and reduce operational and production costs, which is a major part of your role, and implementing new, more effective strategies. So they're the main elements you'll have to deal with as a management accountant. Your responsibilities will be to prepare periodic financial statements, profit and loss, budgets, cash flows, comparing the actual costs against what was projected to decide whether the company's spent more or less or made more or less money. I work with all departments and the management team to make financial decisions. So you're in a lot of meetings when you're a management accountant and you communicate with people across the board. So you need good social skills. Ensure spending is kept in line with the budget, providing the information behind the strategic decisions, informing on the financial impact of business decisions, what that could do for or against the business, informing on the financial impact of business decisions, analyse financial performance and contribute to planning and forecasting. So you need to look to the future, negotiate on projects, loans, grants, advise on financial matters, ways of improving business performance. So it's very much about looking at the business, looking at how it's doing financially, how it's going to do in the future, project how you think it's going to do in the future, and help management make strategic decisions to make that more effective and more successful. So you have to communicate that financial data well, especially to non-financial managers that might not like all the jargon. So you have to be able to explain it clearly and in layman's terms. Monitor and evaluate financial information systems, suggesting improvements, suggesting changes in procedures and policies that might save the company money now or in the future. Implement corporate governance procedures, make sure risk is managed. This is vital for a company to financial risk. There will be some variance in this depending on the kind of organisation you work for. Right, so your skills needed, you're going to need business and management skills. That's vital. And as I'm going to tell you in a moment, you're going to need that, or you'll have to do an extra qualification to gain business and management skills, with an interest in understanding how organisations function, a good level of numeracy, of course, oral and written communication skills so you can explain complex information, professionalism, ethics, integrity and commitment. You have to be very ethical in finance, and it's very tightly restricted. IT proficiency, being able to use IT and accounting packages, project management skills, interpersonal and teamwork, the ability to work with colleagues at all levels, impartiality and objectivity, most definitely, A logical analytical approach and problem solving skills are needed. You need to be organised with the ability to work under pressure and to deadlines, especially at the end of the month or the year-end figures. It's the end of the month and the end of the year that's most busy for all accountants across the board. And you need a lot of stamina and self-motivation, because at first especially you're going to have to balance the demands of work and further study. What it's like to be a management accountant. So you are office-based, but you're not always sat at a desk. You're in a lot of meetings across the organisation. So you do work in an office, you will have a desk and you will work at a desk, but you won't be there all the time because you're constantly talking to other colleagues and getting involved in meetings. So you're not always at your desk, but you are really in an office situation. There may be a bit of occasional travel, a little bit of absence from home overnight, or maybe even a bit of overseas travel, but that's only occasional, and it depends on the organisation you work for as well. With experience, you could become self-employed or freelance, and of course consultancy work is also available, but you must ensure that you've got a lot of experience before you do that. You can work, the employers that you could work with as a management accountant can be all types of company, from the large industrial, commercial, public sector organisations to the small companies. CIMA members are well represented in many sectors, not in financial services. CIMA is a very respected qualification, and that is what you all need to do to be a management accountant. You could use it in, if not in financial systems or business, you can use it in banking, insurance, consultancy, the health sector, utilities, local and national government, manufacturing, technology, across the board really, retail, travel and tourism. Just think, every sector needs to manage and have a management accountant to manage their funds. So it's a job that could work in any sector across the board. You can look for job vacancies online at accountancyagejobs.com. That's worth a look. CIMA My Jobs is a good place to look for opportunities for management accountants. eFinancial Careers or GAP Web, GAAP Web. And in Scotland, it's the Institute of Chartered Accountants, and in Ireland, it's Chartered Accountants Ireland. Okay, so your salary. So starting salaries do vary considerably depending on where you live, the sector you work in, and the size of the firm you work for. So these figures are ballpark, they're average. The highest salaries tend to be in London, but you find that in a lot of careers. So graduates entering is going to be around average 28,000, but there's a lot of further study involved. When you enter as a new graduate, you have to then continue your studies. So if you want to be a management accountant, you need to study at the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, or CIMA, as I'm going to call it from now on. So you start, when you enter accountancy, is at about 28,000, but when you start studying with CIMA, it rises to around 32,000. CIMA qualified finance professionals, whether experienced or not, can earn up to 62,000, including, around an 8% bonus on top, which is a really good salary, especially if you're not as experienced as some other management accountants. However, when you're looking for work, employers are more likely to go for more experience. So whereas it might not affect your salary, your level of experience will depend on what the company wants, really. They might want an inexperienced or an experienced. If they want to shape that management accountant to them, they might start with a less experienced management accountant. You never know. It depends on the wants of the organisation. Senior levels, 46 to about 129,000, which is a really good salary. 129. Of course, there's a lot of issues in accounting as well. Not as much as in engineering and some other sectors, but women are underrepresented. And there's a gender pay gap as well in accounting for women of about 24% roughly. So women are paid less in accounting, and they're less represented and much less likely to enter any kind of corporate boardroom. So help and advice to overcome these obstacles for women, because we want to get us girls into accounting as well. Get rid of all these gender stereotypes we've got. So you can look at a campaign run by SEMA called Women in Leadership. That's worth looking up if you're a lady looking to work as a management accountant or any other kind of accounting, really. So look that up. Women in Leadership give you a lot of tips on how to get ahead as a woman in this industry. Working hours, I mean, it says 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, but it could be up to 40, 45 hours a week, because there are regular extra hours. I used to work in finance and people didn't tend to leave at 5, especially the accountants. So there'll be, some extra hours maybe in the evening or earlier. And especially at the end of the month or year end, it tends to go a bit nuts around that time. So you'll do a lot of extra work there. Tax year end, end of the month can be a nightmare. And you will find yourself doing extra hours over and above, but not weekends or shifts, really, not in accounting. Short-term project work is sometimes available through agencies, and you can work part-time as a management accountant, but mostly more likely if you work for a large corporate organisation. Qualifications, so right from the bottom, you need a degree to be an accountant. So right from the get-go, you need to get onto A levels or into level 3 at college. So you'll need 5 GCSEs at least, grade 5 and above, including your maths and your English. That's to do A levels, and that's also to do a college course at level 3. So the A levels that I would suggest would be most relevant. Business studies, definitely. You need business skills to be a management accountant. So business studies, maybe economics, maths, statistics. So those are the A levels that I would suggest you do if you're looking to become a management accountant. You could go to college and you can do a more practical based qualification in business and finance, but make sure that there are business elements to it as well as finance. So financial and business have to be a big part of it. Then, of course, you need to do that at level 3. So you can do A levels or college. So it depends on the kind of person who would do that. One thing that might decide, though, if you didn't quite get your grades first time when you did your GCSEs, or you're missing your English or your maths, you can start lower, at a lower level at college, whereas at A levels you can't. You have to get your grades, otherwise you can't do your A levels. But at college you have that opportunity that if you don't quite get your grades, you can start at college at a level 2 and work your way up to a level 3. When you get to level 3 in a qualification like business and finance, you will need to do very well. You need like a distinction merit, or a distinction merit as a minimum to get into a good university. Now, the degree you do is really, really important as well. And I suggest that you Google search degrees in accounting and business related subjects that are listed in the SEMA exemption search database. So look up the SEMA exemption search database, and that will show you degrees that include business elements that would make you exempt from some of the certificates that SEMA require you to do. If you go in to do SEMA without the relevant business experience, you can still continue on, but you have to do an extra qualification within SEMA that centres around business and management in a certificate form before you can start the professional qualification. So doing the relevant degree can save you so much time. So obviously, to become a chartered management accountant, you have to study with SEMA. The level you start at depends on your the degree you've studied and the level of knowledge you already have. So if you have a relevant degree or professional qualification, you may be considered exempt from some of SEMA's extra certificates that you have to do. So if you've studied the AAT, or Association of Accounting Technicians, up to technician level, you're going to have some exemptions in SEMA. If you've got an MBA, Masters in Accounting, there will be exemptions. You won't have to do all the parts of SEMA. And you can train with the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, the ACCA, but you would then take the business management modules instead of the audit and taxation options as part of your final training. So you make sure that you study those business and management elements. Vital. Right, so I hope I've covered that well enough. So you tend to start, when you enter SEMA, as long as SEMA is happy that you've got all the business management information and knowledge that you need, after having done a correct professional qualification or the correct degree, then you can move straight on to start studying as a management accountant. I think that's it. So will you enjoy it? So if you've watched any of my self-discovery videos, you'll see that I've done videos on motivators, Myers-Briggs, the intelligences and skills that you need, Belbin, Honey and Mumford. And if you want to be an accountant, a management accountant, these are the kinds of things that would need to be you in order for you to feel fulfilled in your work. So your motivators, a good motivator for management accounting is the defender, because they're very analytical and they like to create stability and procedures and create safety. So the defender means defending an organization from risk. So very, very much, if you're motivated by the defender on my motivators video, if you haven't seen my motivators video, please watch it. It comes from the concept motivational maps, and it's an amazing I nearly said skill, but amazing strategy for you to decide what's really going to fulfill you in your job. So if defender motivates you, you might be good as an accountant. And of course, being the expert and being the builder, which means you like to try and create material and financial abundance, which you definitely can do when you rise to the higher levels of management accounting. So defender, the expert and builder would be the top three motivators that I would suggest that fit well with management accounting. Your Myers-Briggs types are your ENTP, very much the T type, really fits with accounting. Whether you're an extrovert or an introvert doesn't really matter. A sensor or an intuitive, it doesn't really matter. Both types fit, but very much there's only one feeling type that I would match with accounting. The rest are the thinkers, very objective. So it's a very objective, you need to have a very objective personality in order to really thrive in accounting or feel happy. So as you can see, they're T's across the board, apart from ISFJ, that is the only feeling group. And it doesn't seem to matter either whether you're a perceiver or a judger. It's very much about whether you're a thinker or a feeler. Objectivity. So an objective personality is very, very, very useful and fits well to accounting. Your Gardner's 9 intelligences is going to be number and logic smart. Go figure, of course it is. And then, of course, a bit of people smart, because you need to communicate with people, and word smart, because you need to communicate effectively with people, either verbally or on paper. But the top one there is your logic and your number smart. Your Gallup Strengths Finder, the top ones I would say would be analytical, because you analyse figures. Futuristic, you're always projecting into the future. Strategic, you're very involved with strategy, and it's your data that often decides on the strategy of a business. Arranger, being able to look at all the details and solve problems and rearrange and reconfigure policies, procedures, information systems in order to make them more effective, which is what accountants do. Deliberative, so managing risk and being able to see risk up ahead and then mitigating that risk. Discipline, rules, procedures, ethics, doing everything by the book and correctly. And then, of course, restorative, communication, you have to be adaptable and you have to be a bit of a thinker and a bit of an achiever. So the ones in capitals, I would say, are the top ones when it comes to the Gallup Strengths Finder. Building team role, monitor, evaluator and completer, finisher would be the top ones, I think, as well as implementer. Specialist as well, but I would say the top ones are your monitor, evaluator. Your completer, finisher is really useful because they're the ones that tie up all the loose ends and make sure everything's correct. An accountant must make sure everything's correct. And of course the implementer. And last but not least, Honey and Mumford, I would put theorist and pragmatist as the closest fits to management accounting. So I hope you found my video on Chartered Management Accountant useful today. I'm a professional careers advisor and life coach, but I'm new to putting this on YouTube. So please share this to anyone you think might find this useful. Subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon because I will be uploading all the time. and I will upload on request. So please send me emails or put messages in the description box and I will respond to that. If you like my video, click that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. If you want to email me at katie@careertalents.co.uk or go to my website careertalents.co.uk, and I'm going to put links to my Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram in the description box for you so you can link with me on social media. But as ever guys, as I always say, when you're looking for a career, make sure the career fits you. It shouldn't be a decision made by anyone else but you. It needs to fit your personality, your motivations, your skills, your talents, so that you feel happy and fulfilled in your job. See you soon.